Okay, let's see. This is from the years when I was at Humboldt State University, so I'll title this group HSU. But I'm actually going to start with a commune, and I did the one on Synonym, which was kind of a negative story. Okay, so it didn't work out so well. But this one's fairly positive, although I do have at the end I have maybe some comments of people that were around there that I might be able to tie it up with, and some positive, some negative. Anyway, so let's get started into it, okay? And we'll see how it goes, okay? Um, so sometimes it works, okay? The Lighthouse Ranch was founded as a charismatic Christian commune on the shores of the California coast in Humboldt County. That's up in the northern part of California where Humboldt State University is. So I guess it's as far north as you go. Maybe there's one more county before you get out of the state. Anyway, from 1970 to 1995, the commune housed as many as 350 people on just a few acres of land, and they had a few rules. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs, and no sex before the wedding. And everybody has to work, okay? Everyone learned to farm, they cooked, they cleaned the house, and for many months they survived on a budget of $20 per person per month. So less than $1 a day. I don't know how they did it either, even though this is years ago what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's kind of like the the Christian Commune diet plan, but these were mostly college-age kids. They didn't really have a lot of extra fat to burn. They were already pretty thin folks. Anyway, so they started their own businesses. Okay, they began with a house cleaning service. They would trim their beards down tightly, pull back their long hair into a little ponytail, hide it in the collar, and go to homes of the prosperous and or more prosperous and leave them a little cleaner. So they would they'd already cleaned in the commune. It was not that hard to figure out how to clean other people's houses. They often shared their faith along the way. Then they started a bakery, and they sold donuts door to door. That'd be sounds like I'd go for that. Anyway, they made and sold furniture out of the driftwood they found on the beach. You guys know that's beautiful driftwood. Yeah, I don't know what it looked like. I didn't buy any furniture. They started their own vinyl repair business. The guy that is kind of the founder of it, he said he just saw some guy doing some vinyl repair. He asked him, "Is that hard to do?" He says, "No." I says, "Well, what can I get you to teach some of these guys?" He said, "I'll do it for free." And so he taught them how to do this vinyl repair business. Um, and let's see what. Oops, I lost my place here. Um, they began a small carpet cleaning firm, service business. Could start as cheap as just rent your own and then go clean out the place, or eventually buy a machine. And then when things were going well, one of them scraped together the cash, bought an old Cadillac, and started a limousine service. It was actually an old limousine, so it was big. Without any training or experience, they started a newspaper, the Tri-City Weekly, which is still in existence today. It was the print version of eBay, so it's mainly an advertiser. And eventually 30,000 people were reading it cover to cover, looking for the latest bargains. The display ads, like the grocery ads, they charged for, but the little classifieds were free. You could put in your ad and you didn't pay anything for it. Pretty good idea, actually. Anyway, I didn't know any of this when I moved to Eureka and where the newspaper was, and I started attending Humboldt University, which was just one city above us in Arcata, California. Both of them are in Humboldt County. Anyway, I just knew that I needed a job, and the Tri-City Weekly was hiring. Now, these people I'm going to tell you about, they kind of fall in a category from the 1970s. They fall in a category called the Jesus people. But it really wasn't a movement, if you understand what I mean by this. It didn't grow and become the Jesus people, organization worldwide. It was really a generation. It was a generation of people that was just slightly before my time. Okay, I graduated high school in 76. These people probably would have been graduating in 72, 69, maybe in the universities in 69. Anyway, I met them. They came over to the house. They hung out with my older sister, Valerie. Okay, they talked to me. I talked to them. But they were all about 5 to 10 years older than me, which can seem like a lot when you're young. Okay, So as I got older, they did too, and they began to they moved back into society. They kind of became less Jesus people. I don't know. They became more normal on the street. Yeah, it was slow, but it kind of inevitable. It began with those marriages they were so anxious to have. You remember they had some rules, and they were trying to follow the rules, and so they were getting married, and that kind of made them fit back into society just to pay the bills. Yeah. Then came the kids, right? And so, hey, we got bills to pay. So they put on their button-down shirts. They got a few ties, got jobs. They rented apartments. It happens to the best of us. It just happens, okay? Anyway, the ranch encouraged it by giving them the boot whenever they got married. I don't think they started out that way. But later on, as they got crowded and they realized, hey, this isn't quite working out, and they started, well, married people don't really fit in here anyway. We have a women's dorm and a men's dorm. We don't really have a married dorm. So anyways, they when they got married, they were supposed to move out, and they needed the space. If they're going to be a crisis camp for people that were kind of struggling, maybe getting off of drugs or something, they needed to have a place where they could go. It wasn't meant for someone to come in and stay there forever. Anyway, once you were able to make it on your own, they wanted you to move on just like real families, right? You don't want your 18-year-old to stay at home forever. Maybe you'll go to 21, but 35 is kind of out of it, okay? Anyway, 5 of them took over the Tri-City Weekly, and actually they had started it, but I don't know how they decided who it belonged to, but whoever I guess was already key and working there all the time, that they ended up with it. So that was a nice thing about it, is the businesses they started didn't belong to the group, but they let people own them. Anyway, there was always plenty of work to do for the Tri-City Weekly. They had to find advertisers, they had to create the copy, and they had to publish and distribute the paper every single week, and they delivered it door to door to door. So, I mean, there's a lot of room for a lot of people to go and hang these things out, I guess, on the doorknobs. When they got too busy, they hired guys like me. I wasn't connected to the church. I had never been to the commune, but I had a background in newspaper work, and I had done this copy work before, the publishing, so I knew what I was doing with that. Anyway, everyone is a desktop publisher now, as I told you, but in the old days, you needed a typesetter. It was a special machine that typed out the copy. Someone had to know how to type that like that. That wasn't me. We had another gal that typed 90 words a minute. And you needed photographers. You needed artists who could draw. You needed writers, and you needed editors. And I would build the ads, and they were like puzzle pieces. You used a special photographic paper, cute little borders that were on strips like tape. You would put them out very thin. You would have typed copy, and you use clip art. You guys know what clip art is, don't you? I think they still call it clip art. Anyway, just little pictures. You cut them out and you glue them in back in those old days. Now you just take it and you put it in. Anyway, for 2 years, I sat in a downtown office in Eureka, California, with about a dozen current and former inmates from the ranch, and I listened to their stories. And they had a lot to say. And I'll pick those up the next video. I hope you can wait that long.